Tyloo, and what a first game that was. That was so exciting.
That was a crazy game. Back and forth the entire time. No real team ever really being able to kind of run away with it. I think the biggest lead we had at some point was 3 rounds, maybe? Nothing more than that. Nothing really crazy. Just keeping it close the entire time. And we're actually seeing like a lot of different ways of changing, adapting during the game as it's happening from both sides, which has been really fun.
That was Tyloo's map pick on Inferno. They won it 16-14, so it was very, very close. Now we're going to go on to NiP's map pick, which is obviously Overpass. So still plenty of chance for the Swedish Ninjas to pick it up and do something here in Shanghai. They're going to be happy if they could do it early on. Looks like they're going to be running straight into a bit of a fight here. Is somebody going to be taking a quick shot and falling back? NiP on the T side and Tyloo on the CT side.
Yeah. One thing working in the favor of NiP is the fact that Overpass has been by far their best map in the last couple of months, ever since Marseille. They've gone undefeated on the map. Obviously, that even counts. You know, they lost the series versus Na'Vi on the first group day, but still managed to win Overpass with pretty convincing numbers.
Curate off to a good start. Hiding in the corner, and Dennis just wasn't ready for it. NiP been doing so good in pistols, but now Bented's going to be able to take down Lekro. Long range with this USP is just so powerful, and the Glocks can't really be put into use just yet. Curate going to be going down to Forest, though. That's a big pickoff, and he's going to steal the USP and try and see if he can continue the fight a bit more. They have very limited map control, NiP. They're all around the restrooms. They don't really know if Tyloo's moved up anywhere else, and you can see Get Right as a result checking a lot of the corners. They're making a fair bit of noise here. So should be a rotation coming. DD covering the angle as they try and pass by A as well. They just jump right into the fight. That might not be the best move, although Get Right and Forest somehow picking up a kill each in that fight. Very hard for NiP to be doing, and that smoke is going to help them out as well. Somebody coming in from the sewer area, making enough noise that they definitely know it. Let's see if him and Bented can turn it around. If Tyloo win the pistol, that would be a strong start for them, just riding the wave of that first map victory. Somebody playing around the sandbags, ready for anything to come. Bented opening up, doing a bit of damage, looking for more fights. He's just taking on both of them at this point in time. Somebody missing a lot of shots, and Bented's gone down. He needed to follow that in some reasonable way. Instead, Get Right picking up the last in a triple, and NiP win the pistol.
Well done for NiP, being able to fight back from a 3v5, and that's really down to Tyloo messing things up, just in terms of missing shots. They have the two-man setup over towards the B bomb set. That's the initial defense. Definitely should be able to get more out of that than just the one kill. And I think, well, as evident by somebody's attempt there as well, just not being able to connect with the shots, that's not going to get you any rounds. NiP get a much-needed start here. That could have, again, yeah, we've seen Tyloo get off to hot starts so far in this tournament. You definitely don't want to do that if you're NiP on your own map pick.
I think Duncan was bringing up a valid point about Tyloo not having too much stage experience either, and I mean, that's one of the things that can definitely come into play at any point during a big game like this. I mean, I would always say the later it goes into the best of 3 series, the more, you know, that starts to sort of wear and tear on your mentality as you're playing the game. If you're not used to playing on the big stage, that is.
Yeah. Actually, one thing that worried me a little bit for Tyloo is right after they won Inferno, they were celebrating, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating, being happy about winning a map. Obviously, you should be happy about, you know, guaranteeing a 3rd map, if nothing else. But it seemed like there was a little bit much celebration for just being able to close the first part of the entire mission.
We've had that going back and forth. I mean, it was a feature of American Counter-Strike for the longest time that you had. I think people started to referring to it as the high highs and the low lows.
Yeah.
And I think that they managed to smooth that out over time. That you sort of keep a level head, don't really get too excited because you could end up crashing completely if it starts to go the other way.
Yeah.
We'll hope that doesn't happen for Tyloo. Really early on, still obviously on Overpass here. Lekro finding a lot of success here with the newly price-reduced MP7. So, cost less, still makes a lot of money. He's happy about it. He's also flashing himself for a minute.
Why not? For all the changes we saw in the recent update, that's probably been the most prevalent change, and what's actually in terms of what's actually played out. We don't obviously see a lot of teams picking up the M4A1 instead.
Nope.
Even with the 20 more bullets, which is understandable. The gun is still
still everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So like the guns still have the same issues they initially had. The only difference with MP7 is that it's cheaper. And I think it's always been a gun where it's like you're kind of on edge whether or not you want to buy it because it's easy to control spray-wise, quick rate of fire, 30 bullets, gets you $600 per kill, right? It's a solid weapon overall. And with the $1,500 price tag, I think that's going to be a natural choice for a lot of people. I think it was the most players' favorite weapon, actually, their favorite SMG when he started off at CSGO. Like it just felt like the natural choice because it was the closest one to the MP5.
Some of us still miss it.
Yeah, no,
never forgotten.
At least get like the sound file from the MP5 in, like.
Yeah, just I don't know. There was something about it, you know.
Nostalgia.
Though
it's a powerful thing.
It might be a bit much if you have the MP5, 7, and 9. You know, that's.
I get the full series. Collectors.
Well, Forest is going to be opening up. It's always great when you can get that flank on the T side over by the bank, like when you can flank all the way around the default boxes. You just know anyone playing at the truck. They're kind of isolated to stand in one spot. So.
Oh yeah, that's not a good angle either.
Nope.
So NiP take care of business as they start at the second map. For NiP, I mean, we've seen them have both very strong T sides and CT sides really on overpass. They just seem like a just overall extremely solid overpass map. So for Tyloo, they just need to be able to break this kind of a break this momentum from NiP's side immediately as quickly as possible. And they do have the op out on X-Create, and I feel like that bodes well for them.
Yeah, that's the kind of tool that will that'll get a lot of things done. Oh my God, what a pick! There was even some grenade debris actually in front of him, making that shot very hard to hit. And I think he was sort of partially moving as well. So. For missing all the shots in the pistol round, that was one hell of a flick coming out of somebody.
Yeah, and I don't know, like somebody seems to be that kind of player who just, you know, things that only work when you're in movement kind of thing. Like it's kind of like a mechanic that has to be constantly like under or having some sort of momentum to function. And somebody seems like that kind of a player. He was having a rough time in the first half. On Inferno as well, then was allowed to run down Banana for a couple of rounds on CT, and got back into it, and that was a big difference maker for them. So maybe he's going to have to need the same kind of movement and same kind of freedom on the CT side of overpass as well to really feel it.
Forrest trying to go for a bit of playmaking down towards the B bomb side. It might seem a bit crazy, but I think, you know, at that point in time, if you're Forrest, you're thinking a lot of the times, am I going to win this duel? And if I do, then I've created so much space for the rest of the guys on the A-bomb site, and they could really do something, and I can sort of stick around and be a little bit annoying. Now, this push from NiP is going to be very difficult to make work, although they're going to get a big opening there. X-Crit picking up one shot, quick follow-up, but again, you don't want to give him an early start here. Get right, couldn't know that, but DD running through the smoke, and they're going to save the AWP. So only losing 2, Tyloo are going to be happy about this.
Definitely, especially with one of them being an MP7 on Bentet as well. So. Not the worst thing in the world. Like, in essence, they're only losing 1 rifle.
Yeah.
Well, that's just not going to be dropped over once. He's going to go back to the FAMAS. It seems like Tyloo are not completely out of it. They haven't taken anything for granted by any means, you can tell. Definitely up for the task, so this should be fun. NiP, though, still with another solid buy coming in. I think that's going to be the tough part, really, on this first half for Tyloo, to be able to get NiP in a position where their economy is actually very fragile. Not going to have a lot of opportunities to put NiP back on an eco.
No, but if you get there, then things are going to start to ease up a little bit. I mean, unlike on Inferno, where actually, even if you're ecoing on the T side, you can still talk yourself into buying some C sets or deagles or something. Like on this map, tend to be so far away that the rifles do have a sizable advantage. It sort of grows over distance, so
yeah,
a little bit more tricky.
I think the only kind of pistol, well, it's not even ecos, right, anymore. It's like when you have the solid amount of utility to be able to Molotov out, you know, toxic barrels and water, etc., over towards the B bomb side. Like when you have a pretty significant amount of investment into the round, that's when you see pistols being able to be efficient. But you need so many smokes and Molotovs to be able to clear that and make that space for you.
X-Grid pushing up quite aggressively with the AWP. He's going to get shot down. Lecro who's been so solid for NiP again in the first map too. Somebody pushing through the smoke. Actually, he's exchanged places with a couple of people, but BenTeT doesn't even care. Picking up 2 big frags with the FAMAS. It's got to be considered big news. They don't know that somebody's here. They have no idea. The timing. Oh, he's going to get the one. Continues the spray onto Dennis. That's so well played. And finally, Get Right's going to be able to take him down. But this is a 1-on-2 with 15 seconds. He has to get this frag, and he's not going to be able to. Almost taking down DD. And it will Tyloo winning the round. Very, very close there. Honestly, that continued spray fight from somebody was very scary. Because he had to crouch around the corner to continue.
Yeah, he was playing such a cool... he was being a cool head there initially. First off, again, like, I guess, happy accident that they pass each other in the night. And BenTeT's able to find 2 frags in there. But with somebody, he's trying to move closer and closer because I think it was Dennis close by but the stairs didn't look his direction at all. And then he suddenly turns back, and it's so easy to get rattled there and start flundering.
Are they shooting on the ground to decide where they're going to boost, or what's going on?
It's like, come here.
A little bit of confusion.
No. Again, we talked about being able to get NiP into a place of a fragile economy. That's where they find themselves right now. They're to lose this. Oh, that's a shot and a half.
I feel like we've seen that being hit so many times in this tournament alone that people have to start to think about a different way to...
Didn't Lekro do this with the Deagle as well versus Nami?
Yeah.
Yep. Now they're getting the same boost. This never worked out for them the first day they played Overpass, but this time, the boost is coming in. It's such a powerful spot. It's actually a bit surprising that it took so long for people to realize that, because normally you just see the one off of the railing, which doesn't give you good enough angle. You can pretty much just only spot towards Toxic, and teams are going to be aware of that eventually. But yeah, seeing it more and more now.
Look at the read from Tyloo. They've lost a player early on. They've rotated 3 men into the B bomb site, and NiP look like they want to try and go for it. This could be the kind of call that's really going to shake NiP's confidence, because you feel like you've got the advantage, you should be able to do it. AE going to pick up 1 kill there, but that probably means NiP have to pretty much go. Only 25 seconds as they make their way around the L vent. BenTeT going to pick up 1 kill, and now more packets going to be coming in. DD, can you find one? There's almost a quick return. BenTeT going to be dropping the bomb with 15 seconds, and Lekro out in the open. He gets 1 shot, he needs another one. He's got almost, oh my god! He picks it up, the quad kill, 12 health left. What an absolute hero.
That is incredible from Lekro. You can see he got a big smile on his face for good reason. Down to 12 HP as well. The rotation coming in. Like, even though it doesn't get the kill, you sense that surely BenTeT is going to be able to close that out. Just not able to pounce on it immediately, and great adjustment from Lekro.
Oh, Get Right. He was on the edge for a minute there. There was only 12 seconds, I think, towards the end there. So you could have maybe said that BenTeT could have
played for time.
Could have played for time. But it's hard when you're on the low ground.
Yeah, and also when you're that close as well.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's, it's not that much time to work with, but there's not that much of a distance to close. And especially, as you mentioned, because of the high ground Lekro has, you can kind of cut that distance into 2 by just walking across the entire bomb zone.
Well, I mean, also, if you're BenTeT, what do you do? If you look, you have to sort of decide if you look left, right, or straight up, right? And the problem is, if you look straight up for him to walk over the bomb site, and he actually comes from one of the sides, you're just dead. So
and you look silly doing it.
Yeah, you look really silly doing it. So kind of a tough position to be in, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a massive swing round for NiP. They were the ones on the brink of having the eco. Instead, it's Tyloo busting out the ZZs. Only finding 1 kill, though. DD with an MP9 might be able to catch someone's back, but NiP rather quickly moving towards that A bomb site. Oh, nicely done by DD. He's going to pick up an AK as well. He might actually hold on to this. He's got Kevlar as well. Remains to be seen if anyone from NiP decides to offer themselves up.
I don't want to fight, although he loses his teammate and he's going to lose the AK-47. I think what we're really seeing here, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, that it was going to be hard to get NiP off the economy. They lost 2 rounds in a row and they were sort of brought to the brink. But the fact that they survived that close encounter means they should be feeling very confident right now. They know that Tyloo can't really have much of anything.
Yeah.
They're up 5-2 on the T side. This is looking like a really strong start for the Swedes.
Yeah, you can even tell, like, Get Right, Lekro repurchasing into SMGs as well. So they want to stack up that cash as much as possible while they still have the opportunity in case they run into a similar scenario, right? Like, if they have an AK less or something in that previous buy, then that could go Tyloo's way.
Yeah.
Gary's going to be really aggressive here up towards short.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, DD has the money to have bought this MP9 and armor, so I guess it's fair play. Nothing really going to come out of it, unfortunately.
Does a lot of damage on to get right, but not able to get the kill. And meanwhile, things are just kind of falling apart here for the time being. Somebody's not able to capitalize on catching the back of Lekro. It's only down to Bentet. Might be able to find a kill here, but like both of the players nearby, both Lekro and Forest, Galil's an MP7, so it's not the biggest treasure that you can actually find for yourself, but nicely done.
Yeah, really inflicting a lot of damage there. The kind of cool battles that we're kind of used to seeing Bentet take now.
Yeah, becoming more and more accustomed to the talent on this Indonesian player. Get right lurking up behind, and considering he only has 2 HP, he really needs to be 100% accurate if he wants to down Bentet here with a Mach 10 from range.
Yeah, I mean, he's just gambling on the fact that he's going to have a better position, right? Oh, spamming through is actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Rez will take him down, so ultimately, that is going to be the round for NiP, even if they lost a fair few more players than they probably were expecting.
Yeah.
Now that Orb is back in the hand of Excret, and he's obviously not had the most impact on this map, so probably hasn't really had it that much, so hard to say.
You see Bentet coming into Tyloo to replace Attacker.
One of the pieces of information, as you said during the intro screen, was Forrest thinking that 500 chickens could
kill an elephant. I think that's extremely optimistic. I'm not sure what kind of chickens he has ran into in Sweden. If they, I don't know, like free-range chickens, is there something there?
Listen,
I would have to think that anything but free-range chickens stands a better chance, like genetically modified chickens or something like that.
They would have to be, wouldn't they? Like, I don't even know what it would take for us. I think it's just...
We're going to have to ask him about that.
I don't think 5 million chickens couldn't beat even one elephant. How would that work?
Yeah. Like, the thing just stomps everyone. Like,
yeah, just walks on them, surely.
Get some batting practice, like, whips them around, sits on them. Like, so many ways. I just can't imagine it. I think Forrest has lost his mind a little bit. Blame jet lag.
Excret now walking up, slowly scoped in again. This is so he's got no backup here. He doesn't know if anyone is in the restrooms right next to him. This is unbelievably dangerous, and Lekro is going to punish him. That's one of those things where you want to see it work. It's sort of play that we could have sometimes see someone like Simple make, but when you get punished for it, you do leave the rest of your team in a very awkward position. Bentet now on the bomb side, and NiP can feel the weakness here at the A side. They kind of want to see if they can capitalize on it early, and again, Lekro going to be the one to open it up. He is such a solid player. Quick triple, nobody even able to reply on the Tyloo side. What a joy it is to see Lekro come into his own like this. I mean, I think I said this during the group stage. I actually fear in some way that, oh my God, he's just running them down
non-stop.
I'm actually worried that
this is going to be the release.
That the release of Lekro from Fnatic will go down as one of the really big mistakes in. I mean, obviously, barring the fact that we don't know about personal issues and personal team chemistry, but just in terms of how good he is, I think that could be a little bit scary.
Yeah, no, he is a very good player to just kind of let go, and then you give him up to a national rival as well.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, even if it's felt like NiP's been out of that rivalry for a little while.
Yeah, but I mean, with Lekro on the team, it's a great way of coming back into it, right?
Yeah.
You can definitely see why, but yeah, everything just kind of spirals out of control off of that aggressive pick from, or aggressive move from Excret not working out. I think if you anytime you want to do something like that, you need to have a contingency plan. Yeah. There we go. For what you're supposed to do if something goes wrong, and one of them would be to have at least one more player around you, so you could potentially get a trade. Even if he ends up eventually going down as well, you've staggered some of the push, gives you more of a chance to actually have a rotation, and you also get more information, right? Like if there is a second NiP player nearby to help out Lekro in that scenario, then at least you have some of an inkling as to what NiP might be doing later on in the round. So Tyloo needs to shore up some things, and right now somebody's gone for an M4 bite to kind of balance out the economy. He still has actually the most money on his side.
I think he saved it, didn't he?
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, he did survive out in underpass.
So that it's kind of good news, but it's kind of hard to know where you're supposed to take this kind of rifle in a round like this. You know?
No utility as well. It's so much nicer if you have an op because you feel it can go aggressive and kind of duck out after one shot and be happy with it. That's not really the case for M4.
It's kind of exciting though. DD picking up a kill on Get Right. That would have been a good beginning if they could have built something off of it. They lose a couple in return, and that puts a lot of strain on the Tyloo side here.
They have been able to pick up another rifle though. So AE right now with an AK in his hands.
Once the door is open, that boost is so good. If he could have caught the feet of someone in there.
Yeah.
And actually, if he'd waited around another 2 seconds, he would have seen someone coming out the doorway. So that would have been a little bit interesting. Now the question is, what can they do? Forrest with a smooth jump around the corner. Always love to see those. 45 seconds here. The flashbangs go in. Somebody picking up the first kill. Quickly returned by Dennis. Now AE wants to push up. He wanted to push behind the flashbang there, but it just did not work out. And Bentet, 1 versus 3. NiP should be able to make sure this doesn't happen. And indeed, Dennis will pick him off. Nice round from NiP. Smooth, consistent round. No risk taken.
Yeah. That's how you want to see those rounds being played out, especially when you give up an AK as well. Like there's always that looming presence of just lining up at the wrong place at the wrong time, and all of a sudden Tyloo find multi-kills that they can work off of. Very well done, and 8 rounds already on the board for NiP. So very different trajectory on this game from what we saw in Inferno. We never really saw one team pull away, but this is pretty much Tyloo's biggest chance of actually getting back into the first half.
Oh my god, wow. We say that as they get absolutely carpet bombed by the playground and birthday party area, and that's going to be hard to recover from.
Yeah, one shining light here is the fact that NiP might not be expecting somebody to be this aggressive after all the nades, but he's only good for 1 frag. And while that's nice, it's better than nothing. It still puts Xcurate in a really rough position. He's going to have to dig up some more heroics like we saw in Inferno.
He's had a hard time finding the kind of opening. The problem is, obviously, if he plays too aggressive in the restrooms, he does kind of get lost from the A-bomb side and the rest of his team. So he's sort of doing something in between right now and just hoping that someone's going to come and peek him. Leckrone jumping and making a bit of noise, and AE is waiting for him on the other side.
They've not totally decided as to where they want to go, but they are rotating the bomb over towards the B bomb site. Oh. Dangerous miss from Xcurate as well. DD actually rotating over. Oh, this is like such a horrible timing for Tyloo.
Yeah, he's coming back pretty quick though, but he's going to pick up 1 kill there on Leckrone. That's a strong character to take down right now. When the spray comes on in, Rez down with the bomb, 24 seconds, still a headshot from Get Right, even in spite of the smoke, and now a lot of noise being made, and yeah, Xcurate, he had no idea, and how could he, that Dennis is going to be on that side. A little bit of vandalism at the end there with Dennis. To break the window of the bank, it's not even necessary.
They won the round. They got money to pay for it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to pay for it. They are terrorists after all, so.
That is true. They don't really seem too considerate about that kind of thing. 9 rounds for NiP, and even though we do see a buy coming out from Tyloo again, off the back of that loss bonus, it's not great. Like, Xcurate hasn't been able to have the same kind of impact we saw in Inferno at all. He's been missing a couple of sitters as well, which is a bit of an issue.
Could also just be, you know, the how comfortable you feel with the map, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to expect that Tyloo's map pool is not going to be super deep. So.
Yeah, and also I think just like even if you know, I mean, it goes both ways, right? And this is home court for NiP. They have to feel extremely confident about anything they do on Overpass. They have no reason not to, considering how much they've been winning on it. Oh, Bentet.
I mean, he wanted to double up in the aggression, hoping that he'd catch somebody. It was a very unlikely play, so, you know, someone from NiP could have stumbled back into it. But they were ready. It's a 3-on-3. Health advantage, though, for Tyloo. And, I mean, at this point, they sort of need to make a 9-6.
Need anything they can get at this point to grab around. There's also the looming danger of getting reset, even if you win this round, right? If you end up surviving with 1 player, you're not going to have enough money to get a really good buy coming into the next one. That's obviously not an issue for NiP by any means. You can see Dennis sitting at 13K right now. So he can pretty much fund his entire team on his own.
Yeah, he's got the money.
Yeah, and again, Xcurate in a very forward position, but a lot of these aggressive positions that he's been taking hasn't really netted him too much information. He's just in.
He might be able to get Dennis here, running back with a knife out. He'd already set up the smoke as well, so the rest are going to come running back the other side. It's looking really good for Tyloo here. Men advantage. They know this is coming. Missed opportunity from A. He's going to go for the repeat though, and that should be enough. Lekro will go down, and Tyloo finally going to pick up one more round here. So
much needed.
It's something, right?
It's a start, right? And again, if they can close this out to being in 6 to 9.5 and win the pistol as soon as we get going with the second one, I mean, at that point, it is really anybody's game. We've seen that Tyloo, oftentimes they do better on their T side than they do on their CT sides. Like one of the things that was just a common theme for all the Asian sides would be really, really strong T sides and terrible CT sides. Tyloo were the first Asian team to kind of get a grip on their CT sides as well, which is why you saw them having increased success.
Oh, grenade landing. Oh no, it does almost nothing. It goes right past them, and NiP have a great opening. Somebody on the bomb side, he's going to have to buy a little bit of time here. Someone else has got to come and help him out. These grenades aren't working out for Tyloo right now, so it's just about buying time. And NiP are actually waiting for that reinforcement and trying to pick it off as they go. Extra picking up one with the AK-47. Get right, rolls down. Somebody going to be falling to Dennis, and they just can't make this one work. NiP with a really powerful B rush, and those do work so well. If that grenade lands perfectly, I mean, everything changes.
It's a difference between, I think it did a total of 20 damage there, but it could so very easily do like up towards like 150 instead. Yeah. And obviously, when you see like the Tyloo players are getting tags in when they actually get the rifles out, but it's just not enough to net a kill. And with the additional damage from AGs or Molotovs, what have you, in there, that could be the deciding factor.
Think about how much of a boss you feel like if you're calling on the NiP side at this point, and you think, well, we know that they're like within one round of a reset. Let's just call a B rush and knock them out, you know? And it works. That's great.
You feel good about that for sure. Well, see if somebody else. Tyloo has actually opted in for this round. They've just depleted their economy completely, hoping to get 5 rounds instead of potentially 1-4. Somebody playing with fire once more. I'm assuming he's been heard, or if not, spotted by Lekro. Lekro is definitely sensing that something's there, and he's going to be right in his assumption as well. That's somebody down with not any damage to his name either.
Yeah, BenTep was checking the menu there for the full cafe that's up on top. It's all in German. I don't think you can actually read it. I'd be impressed if you could.
There we go. Forrest is able to read the movement, at least from BenTep. So that's a 2-man advantage, and while Execrate in a really rough position.
Yeah, the Molotov behind him actually is just some of these grenades, like the flashbang and underpass, the grenades to force him out, like all of these just seem, again, it's hardly probably down to them, just the understanding of the map.
Yeah.
Once you get this much of a good feel on the map, there are just a lot of things that come for free, or like you get them for free in the process.
Yeah, and like it feels like if you're Tyloo, most positions you take just feel or are rendered useless a lot of the time because of good utility usage. That's obviously how you want it to be if you're NiP. Well, you're not going to have too great of a time. Nice shot, though, onto Lekro, but not going to be any real follow-up on it. He's going to try to hold on to that armor, but already Dennis is there to greet him as it comes out of higher. That's an 11th round for NiP.
Yeah, this is such a good beginning that it feels like there's almost no end to it. You see Peter's even just relaxing behind.
It doesn't have to do anything. That must be nice, like that feeling as a coach when everything's just working.
Yeah. So,
you know, better not butt in. You just hang out.
Just absolutely chilling at this point.
Yeah. Well, Tyloo, it's going to be rough, but I think you need 4 rounds here going into the second half, where we might be looking at a rather quick third map coming up.
It's definitely looking like it at this point in time. It just seems like Tyloo aren't really ready to play over past the level that NiP are right now.
Yeah. Very few teams are, though.
Yeah, that's a good point. Flashbang around the corner and an army of C-set 75s. I mean, why not? The odds that it works are pretty good, actually.
I mean, it should definitely be good for at least a kill.
Let's just see. Oh, Forrest is just a little bit too close to the corner, actually. The flashbang doesn't really catch him. He still picks up 2 really big kills, but he's going to fall right back. A goes down to the other side, so just BenTep left. It's a really, really good idea, but I think NiP were further up than really Tyloo were expecting.
Yeah. And even then, the flash that they throw out, Forest is so far forward that even if somebody is kind of used as a sacrificial lamb to spot out for information, the follow-up flash isn't good enough to net them the positive trade that they really needed. Being able to pick up weapons in that kind of scenario, obviously that's going to change the turn of the tide really for you in the round. But NiP just setting up nicely, like passively as well. Again, they're so familiar with the map, they know what to expect.
And again, this could be the confidence in the map sort of, shining through here. But there was a version of NiP not that long ago that was
definitely not confident on the map.
They weren't confident, and also they crumbled hard whenever things didn't sort of go their way, So the fact that they lost the first map here, even if it's their opponent's map, it's kind of a good sign, Good sign of life that they've regained a bit of confidence. Like they can take a map loss, they can still come back and be confident in their own map. And right now they're obviously doing a fine job. As you said, could be a third map very fast in this series, which is looking likely.
Yeah, it's looking more likely. Tyloo obviously have to pick up this round for something to go in their favor.
Okay, right. A lot of people going to be peeking at the same time. Sees a couple, goes to the retake, does a bit of damage, but DD will take him down. It's not such a bad start at all, and they're going to try and see if they can speed it up in the bathrooms. DD somehow loses that fight. Lekro going to hit a headshot on A. Oh no, this is a bit of a disaster. Again, NiP with him an advantage. The bomb is going to be going down. Forrest hits a headshot, and now Dennis looking to see if he could do a little bit more. Excurate looking very soft, and he's going to go down to Forrest. It's all on somebody. The bomb is up there. They're already defused. He can't really do anything. He's just waiting and hoping that they come for him so he can get some kills at least. But NiP are going to win the pistol. And oh, that's not bad at all. But if it wasn't already clear, NiP pretty much takes the map in winning that pistol round.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll see something, I guess, alternative coming out from Tyloo. Somebody can drop an AK over to Bentet, for instance. We can have Galil dropped over for DD. So there is still stuff that can be done, but it seems like they would just want to play it safe. Go for one more eco and then allow NiP to get to 14 rounds before they bring out the AKs and whatnot. Not giving themselves a whole lot of room to work with, though, even if they were to bring one back early.
No, big opportunity, actually, but no, that's my concern, is that when you have this little of a buffer, and given how good NiP at playing overpass, it doesn't seem really realistic in any way that you should be able to make a 13-round comeback. It's just so far-fetched. Maybe it was one of the maps that NiP aren't playing so well, then the Mirage
or Cash, actually, which would be the third map.
Which would be, yeah. So we might have something fun in store there.
Right now, though, Tyloo not having a lot of fun. 3-14, and well, AKs are coming out because of somebody's extra, additional kills, etc. There's just going to be a little bit more money to work with. A couple of extra flashes here and there.
We'll see how they play this one. I mean, we talked about the power of those B rushes, but you probably
need more utility to make it happen.
You need that, and also calling it as like your last ditch effort is also maybe feels a bit rough, If
you're going to throw, all eggs in one basket.
Might as well be that.
Yeah. But only 2 smokes on the side of Tyloo. No Molotovs, which is my real worry here. Like, sure, you can do a good enough job of putting down smokes. But I think for the B bomb site, you kind of need Molotovs to be able to clear this out properly. For the A, you can get away with smoking out at least the rotation choke points for NiP, and that could help you in some fashion. But you need to be extremely efficient with how you attack the bomb site. And you need to have really accurate pop flashes for it to work out. Finding Liquor, though, that is a good start. Execute. You see, you're going to get the wrong timing here. Oh, God. Couldn't have been any worse. Pulls out the knife. The second res pushes forward. That does mean there is a pretty significant gap in the defense of NiP here towards the A bomb site, and somebody's onto that.
Yep. You heard Rest running back. You definitely knew Bentet going to be picking up the kill there on Dennis. So, yeah, even though they lost one, they managed to isolate that lone player coming back to the bomb site and get right in the forest now. Not much they really can do. I mean, even if you've got a lead, I would say just
hold on.
Yeah, save and make sure you got. All you need is like a couple of rifle rounds, and you're looking good. It's an interesting round in the sense that sort of Tyloo just got those first opening fights, and then that's it. You know, like NiP just have a really hard time coming back into the round in any way. BenTeT going to go down as well. NiP still fighting for it in spite of being 2-on-4. That says something about their state of mind at the moment. Friendly flashbang there, a little bit dangerous, putting a bit of pressure on DD, but he's still going to be able to pick it up. So that will be a round for Tyloo, finally, 14-4.
Yeah, and with NiP deciding to fully go in on that retake, they're not going to have money here to reinvest. And you probably could have made a case for them purchasing up if they had 2 Colts to their name from the get-go. I mean, Get Right and Forest would have been able to drop a Colt on their own. Obviously, that's going to limit their utility, but I think NiP could have been okay with that. But long-term, probably better to go with an eco. It's not the end of the world to allow Tyloo a couple of rounds on the board extra. Makes great with a scout in hand. More or less a similar buy from Tyloo this time around as what they had in the previous one. And I guess that is one of the upsides for NiP at least. Being able to take down 3+ players does mean that Tyloo are going to be at a net negative.
Yeah, over the span of a game, you know, once you get 15 rounds, it's obviously easy if you can get the 16th for free.
Yeah.
Just because they don't have much to fight back with. And they're being very careful right now, Tyloo. They're feeling sort of the weight of that first half still on them, and they don't want to make many mistakes. I feel like obviously you are playing for the win, obviously, even if you're Tyloo at this point in time. But I think there is like if you get close enough, there's a small kind of victory in being able to steal some of the momentum from NiP going into the third map.
Oh, absolutely.
Like there's a halfway point there where you're sort of like, well, we don't win the map, but we did enough that they can't just feel super confident going into the next map.
I think it's really important for teams. I mean, you have 3 ways of looking at it, right? Like, there's 3 ways to lose a match in the sense that you can either get trounced, and that should make it easier to forget going into the next map, which is good enough. But, you know, there's also something to be said, like, instead of just getting absolutely mauled over, you fight back, you actually show some resistance, and make your opponent sweat a little bit, exert extra energy that they don't want to when they've had this kind of a significant lead. You know, make them at least have some doubts in their mind, even though it's not necessarily a realistic scenario, but, you know, force them to at least play with that thought. And then obviously you have the grueling overtime losses and stuff like that when you've managed to fight back or you're just within 2 rounds and that kind of stuff. Those are the really tough ones to be able to put behind you. But I think the way Tyloo are right now, just kind of being able to play the game, really. They haven't really been allowed to do a whole lot on overpass because NiP have been so good that I think it's nice for them to be able to close out on a more positive note.
This is so aggressive from Dennis. Oh my god. Who does that? Usually people wait by the fountain, but Dennis flashed his way in to line up a double kill and even tapping away for a third one there. Very brutal indeed as they leave A alone in a 1 versus 5, I believe it was. And he's got 2 kills, which is good news, but Lecro is waiting for him to close up. God.
Doing a lot of damage here now.
Yeah.
If he can find one more frag again, it's going to make its mark on the economy of NiP. It's definitely going to be needed as well. Lecro, okay. Ballsy.
It's being put on notice. Lecro saying, I know where you are.
Yeah, they've kind of wrapped around him. I think Rez might have spotted AE as well. Oh, he actually goes up and expectant of AE walking up underpass. So it's going to walk into the waiting arms of Lecro. So very nice silence. And I'm pretty sure somebody, got his notepad, just scribbled down what Dennis was doing there. I was like, this is a new way of going aggressive here.
What we were lacking was even more aggression.
Yeah.
We weren't doing it enough. Well, 15-5, and I think, again, with that kind of round now, Tyloo surely going to be feeling the weight of knowing that there's no more buffer, there's nothing left really except fighting for overtime, 10 rounds in a row. Even saying it out loud just doesn't really have a good ring to it, does it? Oh, Forest taking down BenTeT immediately.
It's going to give you a headache, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the 4th player on NiP to use the op so far this match.
It's going to require some serious plastic surgery to get that fixed. Oh no. Dennis, they're already down for the count. Just Give him a chance.
Yeah, Dennis behind enemy lines right now. You can see Tyloo turning around. He's like, oh, we kind of have to deal with this at some point. Dennis perfectly fine sitting still for the time being. It's not like the bomb is dropped or anything like that, but there's no way Tyloo can actually move safely towards the bomb site without Dennis, you know, maybe being in their backs the entire time. And is he going to find the drop on DD here? No, it's going to be the other way around. But it's a small victory at least for Tyloo, but working their way back here, actually. Get right goes down. Yeah.
They've picked up a couple of M4s, and or one M4. They could pick up another one, I think.
Yeah, somebody might feel brazen enough to do that. Excurate has the op now that started out on Bentet at the beginning of the round. So ideal weaponry really for Tyloo at this point, and well, they have armor as well. Only issue is one smoke, one flash to get it all done. Remains to be seen where they put that down. Pretty spread defense on the B-bomb side here for NiP.
DD has a smoke, but they haven't smoked the high ground right now, which I'm really concerned about. Excurate going to go down to Forest. Again, very capable with the AWP. Going to take one more kill. DD, the last one left. Forest will eventually go down, but I think he's done enough almost. 3 seconds, no time. All rest has to do is hide. And that's going to be 16-5 as NiP exact an enormous amount of revenge on the Tyloo team. You see Forest is just... he's having a good time here in Shanghai. And we're going to go to map number 3, which will be Cash in the first quarterfinals here at the CSGO Asia Championships. It's been a crazy ride, but NiP was so ready to play this map. And again, Lekro has just proven to be just an all-star at this point. Yeah,
he really has. And nice to see Force have a bit of a bounce-back game. Didn't have the greatest of showings on Inferno, but yeah, definitely getting into his own. So that should make for a really exciting third map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do believe we're going to check back in with the panel. So, Paul, what do you think about that second map?
Predictable, Anders. That's what I think about it. It's sort of easy to say afterwards, isn't it? Anyone can say what they like and get away with it on TV. But we did say it might end up being 1-1. Both teams have won their map. That's gone to plan. So effectively now we have a best of 1 before we look forward to Cash, however. Let's break down game number 2 with Thorin and Natu. Comprehensive victory, but you were saying it was a very slow and methodical kind of win.
Yes, I think actually here, this is part of the problem. Like, NiP on Inferno tried to do the very slow approach, but you could see they weren't as comfortable, and Tyloo crucially had an approach themselves. Like, they had a way to combat that. On Overpass, not only did Tyloo not look comfortable, but this is NiP's map. You saw the stats there. It was like 90% win rate.
Crazy.
Something ludicrous like that. And on this map especially, slow terrorist play is almost like incentivized. It works really, really well. And so I was just saying, yeah, it's really bizarre because you see the score, you'd think it was like a lightning quick game. It took forever though on the T side, but they got the result they wanted though because they were grinding them out.
Yeah, I mean, the only moment really I felt like Tyloo could have gotten into this game was basically, I think it was a 3-1 scoreline and Lekro wins a 1-on-2 in the B bomb side at 2-3. I think this is actually it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's low HP, 12 HP here, and making it 2-4. That's going to break the economy for Tyloo. And then, therefore, I was pretty much NiP only in this game. And as you can see, this is a good example here. So many times NiP managed to get these isolated individual kills that would then generate a 5-on-4 advantage. And then, obviously, as a CT, you have to make some gambles. Tyloo not really able to do them too much. What you do is you either have to kind of try to make play towards the A-bomb side. You push toilets, try to push the T's back, or you take over B short. You try to push monster. You kind of have to do something. Tyloo unable to do that. Same with the B bomb side. When NiP was pushing from both short and monster at the same time, it felt like every single time the defense from Tyloo was always getting just attacked from multiple angles simultaneously without either of the two parts of the defense managing to help one another in any way possible.
That was the other factor, because both teams had a similar kind of tempo and approach to the game. The difference is, on this particular Overpass game, that aggressive style from Tyloo absolutely went the opposite way. It was working against them. You know, they were putting themselves in bad spots where you saw in some of the highlights there. They're getting killed outside the site even. They're not even waiting for the terrorists to come on. So trying to do that in response to the slow style completely did not work on this map, unlike Inferno.
Yeah. Stat-wise,
pretty much everyone did well, didn't they?
Well, big game for Forest, Dennis, and Lekro in particular. Forest went 24 for 10, Dennis 22 for 10, and Lekro 21 for 12, but also plenty of clutches in there as well. That's boding well, isn't it? He's seemingly knitting quite nicely.
And also, it's kind of telling that Exactred is sitting at 9 kills.
Yes.
First map, phenomenal, had a lot of impact kills. It was really putting that AWP to work. A map like Overpass, AWP, again, is it's very, very friendly for an AWP, if you will. and he managed to not really get anything going. So that pretty much, unfortunately, is a bit of a telling story of Tyloo's overpass.
Yeah. Why are NiP so good on overpass? What is it about the map that suits their style, do you think?
Well, I actually think it's one of those ones where they didn't choose to be, because with the old lineup, when they became good on it, it's actually when their map pool started to shrink more and more and more, they had to do that classic thing where, like, to have any chance, you have to go with a new map that wasn't your map. You know, in the past, they obviously played Cash, and they played a bunch of these different maps. So they kind of got forced into doing it. But at the moment, there's not that many teams that are amazing on this map right now. So being specialists, tunneling in on it, they've just found, like, comfort in the map. Because you look, they don't have some insane strats or anything, and they have amazing utility usage. It's just super comfort level, I think.
For me, Overpass and Cash are the kind of maps where on T side you can have a lot of open-ended strategies on the T sides, meaning that you can kind of throw in a default, try to roam the map, and try to push CTs back to basically just holding the bomb sites, and then try to force to get that entry kill before you have to even decide really what you're doing. And just with the sheer game sense, individual skill, and team play, which is very typical for Swedish Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah. Sure.
They're able to utilize those kind of qualities that they have, and it just seems to be fitting the way they play. Simply.
Yeah, like pick and go.
Yeah.
MVP, Duncan, do you want to pick one out?
I think just with the clutch is probably Lecro. I mean, Forrest had a very good game as well, but, you know, it's the memorable rounds that often decide that. So I'd say Lecro for this one, you know, obviously the new guy on the block.
Picture's baller, by the way. Just putting that out there.
That might be one of the better ones. I've seen those glasses before somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, Lecro is your MVP for game number 2, 21 and 12 with 3 assists and 13 headshots and a partridge in a pear tree. That's all he had for this game. He was very, very good indeed. Alongside Forrest, as we said earlier, 24 and 10, and Dennis 22 and 10. Dennis doesn't always get the frags as well, so nice to see him up there as well. Right, time for a break, and then when we come back, we'll have Anders and Vendetta here once again to guide you through game number 3. Which way is this going to go? Are the home crowd going to leave pleased with Tyloo? Or are NiP going to take a third game to make it to the semi-finals? We'll find out very shortly.
大家好，欢迎来到 CAC。现在坐我旁边也是天路的 Bentet。那我们今天要做一个简单的采访。You guys did really well at IEM Sydney, getting into the top 4. But after that, Emo, he got injured. So how has this impacted your team, and how did you guys deal with this issue?
Yeah, of course, he is the most experienced guy in the team. He's the oldest one, and yeah, we don't take this as a sad moment, like we emotional because he injured, he cannot play. We don't take that as a sad moment because we need to continue and make him proud to our results. So we, Mo give us suggestions sometimes when we play a tournament, and he keep helping Tyloo even he not play. So yeah, we try our best with the new lineup.
So you've been playing in China for a long time now, and in a sense, this is kind of like your second home. So what does it mean to play in front of the home crowd?
I think all people know to play in front of their home crowd, it feels amazing because when the match starts, like in the playoff, of course the home crowd will gonna cheer for us when we get one kill or winning the rounds. It's gonna boost our motivation even more. So we're gonna practice hard and qualify to the playoff this tournament.
The theme of CAC is Battle of Legends, Fire in Shanghai. And in a sense, Battle of Legends also speaks to some old school players as well. And as for you, who's your favorite player from 1.6 and from CSGO?
From CS 1.6, I think Get Right. CSGO, I think Coldzera.
Coldzera and Get Right.
Yeah.
So the final question would be, do you know what the Chinese fans call you?
Yeah, Taka. It means big brother, right?
Yeah. And do you want to learn any more additional Chinese? 我在 CAC 线下等你。
我在 CAC 等你。
Thank you for the interview and best of luck.